Hello CPC fans, this is the weekly podcast of CPC Offseason and I'm your host Froakies. I'd just like to thank 681 Shadow for inviting me this season. Unfortunately didn't get a place in the as a coach, but really excited to be able to bring this show to you each week, the weekly recap, so I'll be going over all the games and just really hyped and excited to do this. Something I've really wanted to do for a while now, and I'm hoping this will be the opportunity I've been wanting. So thanks Shadow for that, and everyone in the CPC for welcoming me. It's been really good so far. Alright, so let's get straight into it. So the first match was iPro versus Turkey. So the Lux Rays versus the Magnetrics. On the pick'em, I chose the Lux Rays. Well, I originally chose iPro and the Magnetrics, Magnetric United, but I changed my opinion due to peer pressure because it was 9-0 in Turkey's favour, so everyone thought he was going to win. Some pre-game notes I wrote was it was a battle of the Fairy Megas. Looking at both their teams, they both have limited switch-ins to each other's Megas. Heliolisk for iPro, I thought it put in a lot of work. It kind of stops the weather, and his Turkey's only ground type was Mammothswine, which didn't come, which was a surprise. So we'll get straight into it. We'll turn the music off. Here we go. So he leads off with Terrakion, leads off with Ferrothorn, so it lives the hit. Then it kills with a Gyro Ball. So straight off the bat, this is a kind of risk versus reward play for Turkey. So even though he did kill the Terrakion, I think it was a bit of a misplay, because Ferrothorn would be his main wall for Gardevoir. So letting it get down to that much low HP really cost him in the end. So we'll keep it rolling, but I think even though he killed the Terrakion, I don't think it was a good play at all. So now Gardevoir comes in and gets its first kill. Then he gets a crit on the Froakies, which doesn't really matter because of Wish Protect. So they just trade blows here for a bit there. But there he reveals Psyshock, so the Froakies actually isn't a wall to it any longer because it does about 50%. But he can stall it out for a bit, but eventually he switches out into Scizor, which was a good play. So we keep going. So he keeps Protect. He doesn't have Swords Dance, I'm pretty sure, so he can only Bullet Punch. So he goes into Kingdra, which Turkey brought a defensive Kingdra rest set, which was actually really nice. Pardon me. And again, with no ground type, iPro can Volt Switch all over his team with his two electric types. So you see how he keeps getting the same advantage in the matchup. So Kingdra pretty much walls Scizor with no Swords Dance. Again, Rotom can just Volt Switch and get another favourable matchup, ride it back into Scizor. So he's whittling down Turkey's team. Bullet Punch does a fair bit, but you can't risk staying in on a Heat Wave or Hidden Power Fire. But I think that was Hidden Power Grass. So U-turns out, reveals the Citrus Berry, which is pretty nice. Again, Volt Switch, which is really important in this game. The Scizor keeps going. U-turn. Superpower. Again, protects. Iron Head, which is obviously for the Mega Diancie and Froakies. That was a nice U-turn play. Ice Punch prediction, that was really nice from Turkey. But again, Mega Gardevoir now just comes because Froakies is low HP, gets another kill. This is something that I really liked, Protect on his win con, so he didn't want to risk it, which I thought was really good. So now, that does nothing. Again, he can just Volt Switch on his team. So Mega Gardevoir comes in and gets another kill pretty much. Protects just in case for Sludge Bomb. Goes to superpower, can't kill it, U-turns out, another Volt Switch. So now the game's still in the balance, but iPro can use his Volt Switch to really in his favour. Mega Diance's still putting in work for Turkey as well though. Kingdra really walls him. So now, pretty sure yet another Volt Switch, which is really nice, keeping momentum on his side. U-turns out. And again, Mega Gardevoir gets a kill. Now he can go into his... I think, yeah, he sacks off his Heliolisk, which isn't bad. Again, Bullet Punch. Now Mega Gardevoir comes in, he rests so he can get another kill. Has to sack something else. Then goes into Scizor. Pretty sure, does he U-turn here? No, he Bullet Punches. Then he U-turns on that. Goes back into Scizor. Diamond Storm. It's pretty much game over here now. He just has to U-turn out and this into his Mega Gardevoir, which gets another kill. And the Scizor can finish off the play. So that's a 1-0 win to iPro. So here's a bit of a quick summary. So as I said, it was a battle of the Fairy Megas. So Mega Gardevoir came out on top with 5 kills, which is obviously really massive. The only other killers was Scizor, and Mega Diancie put a lot of work in for Turkey as well, with the 3 kills, and obviously the one predicted Ice Punch with Conk and Ferrothorn at the start. So it was a really close match, and iPro came out top with the 1-0. That was the first game of the CPC off-season. So the next match was the Boulders versus Sableye. So Hiker versus Ashki. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I predicted Ashki to win just on the matchup. I thought Mega Charizard X had a really good matchup. It was 5-4 in Ashki's way in the pick'em, so it was pretty close. It was kind of 50-50 game. Some of my pre-notes were, again, it was a battle of the Megas. Had limited switch-ins to both Mega Aerodactyl and Mega Charizard X. The right sets can sweep once the walls are whittled down, and Hiker has no ground type, so it's kind of easy for Rotom Heat to Volt Switch around, which could create nice matchups. And hazards will be the key for Hiker. So we'll get straight into it. Whoops. Music's on. So he starts up with these rocks, tries to burn him. Reveals Heal Bell, which is really important. So he tries to taunt. So Ashki, he's trying to keep hazards off for his Charizard, but obviously Skuntank's low HP now, so here he doesn't want to risk his Aerodactyl on the Rotom. Switches out Hippo's obviously the wall for Mega Aerodactyl. Rotom walls Shaman pretty nicely. He reveals a toxic Tapu Koko, which was interesting. So Hippo is pretty nice wall, but it can't really touch Shaman at all. Goes into the Mega Charizard. So here he Fire Punches, yeah, I'm pretty sure, yep. So Hippo's obviously the switch into Mega Aero every time. He taunts the Hippo, doesn't want to stay in on that. Now Klefki Toxic Secrez, which is obviously a great way to whittle down such a defensive monster. I think pretty sure he starts setting up hazards here yet, which is really good against Ashki's team. So he Volt Switches on the Miltank, which I said at the start, Volt Switch would be really key in this game. So here, yeah, so he D-Dance, which is obviously with the right Charizard set, he could almost sweep his whole team with the Mega Charizard, but he lets it get paralysed, his Wincon get paralysed so early in the game, so I think that was a really bad misplay. He should have switched out into Hippo or something else. So he Fire Punches, he does get the kill, but now it's just going to easily get revenge killed by one of Hiker's Mons, which it does. Crit didn't matter. So the Taunt Arrow was really nice actually. So he's got his Rotom Heat, so he's going to Overheat, which was a really weird play again. I think he was predicting the Shaman, but burns him off. So he reveals Shift Gear Magerna, but again Shaman walls it really nicely with Synthesis. So now he tries to get rid of the hazards, but now Shaman will outspeed and kill, so hazards are on the field for the whole game now. So he misses the seed flare, which is unfortunate, but he can just stall it out here until the poison runs out. And Leech Seed with Krez can't really touch Shaman. So Shaman was really good in this matchup. Now Tapu Koko comes in, doesn't want to stay in the Magerna. Flash Cannon. Again, Krez is really whittled down now, so it can't. It uses Moonlight, but it's not really at a stage now. Leech Seed, so Krez is eventually going to die. Nature's Madness just whittling it down, so Krez is gone now. He's trying to shift gear, he's trying to sweep, but it's just not going to happen. Gets a crit, which is really nice for him, but Seed Flares. He switches out. I'm not really sure why. I think he's predicting a switch in, which he got. But yeah, obviously Starmie's not what you want matched with a Hippo, so he Hydro Pumps and Thunderbolt, and that's GG. So Hiker with a massive 5-0 win. I think Ashki will be really disappointed with how he played. It was a bit of a one-sided match. So here's a summary. So obviously Ashki only got the one kill, which was from Zard, which was his win con. Starmie put in a bit of late game work with 2 kills. Shane was underrated with only 1 kill. It did a lot of work, and Aero put a lot of pressure on his team. And Tapu Koko, Miltank and Klefki all played their role. So that was a 5-0 win to Boston Bulldogs, which is Hiker Toad, I'm pretty sure. So well done to him. Bad luck to Ashki. Okay, so the next game was the Pantherians versus the Infernates, which is Techno versus Wamar. So this is the next division. So for my pick'em, I chose Techno as my lock as well. I thought he has a really good matchup, and I'll get into that further. And he's a very good player as well. But the other guys actually was a 5-4 in favour to Wamar. So yeah, they thought it was a bit of a 50-50 match, but I didn't think so. And the reason was Celesteela walls a lot of Wamar's mons. He has no ground type, so Techno can Volt Switch all day, matchups, and obviously he gets a matchup in his favour and deals a lot of damage with a low end Raichu or a low end Golem, but he didn't bring that. And Wamar has 4 mons in his squad weak to electric, but T-Tar was a bit of a problem for Techno, so we'll see how he dealt with that. So we'll get straight into it. So we got Gyarados and the Como-O, I think that's how you pronounce it. So he goes, obviously the Raichu, Alolan Raichu is for the Gyarados. Probably Scarfed, but I'm not sure. Celesteela walls that pretty nicely. So he goes into his Aggron, which Celesteela can't touch. Claydol is pretty nice, so he didn't Rapid Spin because obviously Chandelure is a spin blocker. Como-O walls the Chandelure pretty nicely with the normal fighting, I'm pretty sure it is. Don't really know my new mons that well. Right there is why Techno is such a god. Flash Cannon Como-O coming. Clefable is such a pain, and it's just gone straight away, turn 9, because he built really well with a Flash Cannon Como-O. So again, Celesteela, if I was Wamara, I would have bought Fire Blast just for the Celesteela, but obviously he didn't, because he switched out. So here's where Techno pretty much won. He whittled down the T-Tar, which was such a threat to his team. Fire Punch. Again here, he goes to the Flash Cannon, but then he reveals the next play he hits with a Focus Blast and nearly KOs. So again, just really, really good building from Techno. Shows why he's such a good player with the Flash Cannon special Como-O. So he Thunder Waves. Unfortunately gets parried, and that's that dead, but he can just Volt Turn for the Raichu, and that's gone. I wasn't expecting Mega Beedrill to come at all. I didn't think it had a very good matchup, but proves pretty nice with the U-turn. So now Gyarados obviously was dangerous, but he had the Raichu in the back, so that's gone. He goes to Claydol. So Claydol really surprised me. It actually did really well late game. It reveals Ice Beam here too for the Salamence. And then it does take it out with the Shadow Ball, but the game's pretty much done. Techno plays really safe here with the Volt Switch on the Raichu. Probably could have taken it out, but he didn't want to risk it, just in case a Scarf Chandelure or something. Necrozoma dies, but then obviously Techno picks up the W with the faster Raichu. So that was GG. Even though it was a 2-0, it was a pretty one-sided match to Techno. Really good team building and great game to him. And here's a bit of summary. Obviously Techno proving why I locked him. 3 kills to a low and Raichu, which I knew would put in a lot of work with no ground type to Amar, Volt switching all day long on him. Claydol late game was really nice. And the Combo O with the Clefable was really vital in the game. Chandelure put in a bit of work for Amar, but it was a bit too late, and Mega Aggron and Gyarados picking up the kills. GG 2-0 to the Carolina Pantherians. So the next game is A12 versus Turbo, so Delibirds versus Roserades. A12 was my pick. I thought he had the team matchup definitely defensively, and it was 5-4 to A12 on the pick'em. So my pre-game notes was coughing, even though everyone kind of roasted it. It actually was a lot of Turbo's team. It'll be defense versus offense, I thought, but it ended up being defense versus defense. 107 turn, or 105 I think turn game, which is just cancer. And I just said A12 walls a lot of his threats, so I thought he was going to have a pretty comfortable win. So I'm not going to go through the replay because I'm already probably taking too long with these games, and no way in hell am I going through here. So a few things. So A12 brought obviously coughing to wall the Buzzwole, which it did very, very well. Whoops. And Druddigon was to wall the Victini, which the Victini was special, which again did really well with a rest set. Mandibuzz had Heat Wave on it for the Bisharp, which whittled it down real early. The Drapion killed the Latios, I'm pretty sure. And it had picked up 2 kills, so Drapion was really important. Blissey walled the heck out of most of the team, and when Venusaur got burned, it couldn't take it on. And Slowbro put a bit of pressure on late on Turbo's team. So I'll quickly play it. The music off. So we'll go. So at the start, it gets walled real easily. So we'll go to turn about. We'll go to 70. Why not? See what's happening at turn 70. I reckon. If it wants to work for me. So see the same things happening, but A12's just whittling down Turbo's team, one by one. He needs a special drop here, but he doesn't get it. Blissey just comes in on most things, except Buzzwole. He actually reveals a nice Gastrodon set, which was had a lot of attack investment. Obviously Blissey's recovery is really nice. Buzzwole is just walled by the coughing, so there's proof. Well done to A12, that was really expert building. And the game was pretty much over here, so he was trying to set up with his Slowbro. It doesn't have Psychic, I don't think. Maybe just Ice Beam. So he can... Pretty sure... It's a bit boring. Obviously A12's playstyle is really successful, but a bit semi-stall kind of thing. Not ideal. So he didn't want to risk losing the Slowbro to a Leech Life because coughing just walls it completely. He reveals Bulk Up, which he did earlier as well. HP Flying, which is just really nice from A12. Superpower is still not going to do nothing, and coughing is going to pick up its first kill of the CPC, which is really exciting. I think he tried to get another kill there, but reveals Rest, which is really nice again. And Mega Slowbro, just Gastrodon can't touch that, so it just finishes it off, and a comfortable 5-0 to A12. Sorry I didn't kind of go through the full, but that was just cancer. Like, no one wants to sit through a 105 turn game, so yeah. And here's the summary. Obviously Turbo only got the 1 kill with Venusaur. A12 Drapion was really important with taking down a few threats, and it got 2 kills. Even though Blissey didn't get any kills, it put in a lot of work, so Madrutajon and Mandibuzz. Coughing with the 1 kill, and Slowbro with a late game 2 kills. So, yep, well done to A12, 5-0, and I'm sure it won't be the last victory for him in this tournament. Alright, so the next game was Johnny versus the Flying Bird, my boy, the Flying Bird. So I picked James. I thought, seeing some of his team build, I thought he had a really good matchup and a good chance. The pick'em was 5-4 to James, so yeah, again, pretty even. My keys to the game with Jiraki was a real big key for James. It put in a lot of work, and I had Flygon for Johnny, but he didn't even bring it, so yeah, shows how much I know, I guess. And I had Jolteon and Entei for James as well, but he didn't bring Entei, so I said as well, whoever deals with the other's threats better will win, which is easy to say, but I thought it was really kind of pivotal in the game. So, leads off Suicune versus Mienshao. I'm not sure why he let Jolteon take unnecessary damage. So, pass 1, obviously not a matchup he wants. Again, pretty nice predictions from James at the start. Again, I don't know why he is letting Jolteon take so much damage, and obviously it's so key for the Suicune, which in late game we'll see why, and also being able to outspeed most of the rest of the team except obviously Lopunny. So now it's just a sack folder later in the game. That was a brave switch which worked out really well for him. Suicune could just get a free Scald off, which isn't ideal. And now it gets burned, but James reveals his special Jirachi. So that was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, pass 1 kind of just walls that. Does a fair chunk to the Mega Toys. Suicune obviously can take pretty much anything Mega Blastoise can throw at it. Again, I don't know why he's switching Orlando T into Suicune. Obviously the chance to burn Scald, and it's just Lando T is just not a Suicune switching at all. He gets up his Roxo, which is nice. Gets a little bit of chip damage on the Sylveon, but he is Wish, so it's not going to make a difference. U-turn, nice play. Does a Scald, burn. So he is. I thought Risepool or Johnny misplayed a bit by leaving pass 1 in, because it does wall a lot of James's team, but obviously getting the rocks, if it wasn't a Rapid Spin Blastoise, Jolteon's dead when it comes in next, so that's really handy. As he does sack the Jolteon, so he pretty much reveals he's not a Rapid Spin Mega Blastoise. So Silverlee's pretty dog shit in League, I reckon. Obviously really early to call that, but yeah, I don't think it's good at all. Pretty useless for James. So Lando T misses the high jump. It reveals Ice Beam Lopunny, which is absolute heat. But now he's just going to switch in the Mienshao on that. Sylveon. So he Poison Jabs, which is a really nice prediction from James. Goes in the Gengar. Poison Jabs again. He could have almost predicted something coming in then, but yeah, that's not a bad play or anything. Lando T is pretty much a sack fodder now. So Lando T goes down. Franklin, Danklin, whatever you want to call it. Hits it pretty nice. It was a crit though. Goes in the Sylveon. Sylveon's pretty much dead now. Wishes. Flinch. Protects on the high jump kick was again a really nice play. I don't think James played badly at all. I said I was going to roast him, but he honestly didn't play bad at all. Yeah, the Jirachi kills the Gengar. So Gengar did put in a fair bit of work, got a couple of kills. So Suicune now pretty much wins. Jirachi's not going to win a Calm Mind battle with Suicune. Franklin can't touch it now, so that's pretty much GG now. It gets a crit. but he reveals rest. So yeah, that's GG. Franklin doesn't have rest, and high jump kick's only going to do about 35%, and it wakes up, and that's good game. Sylveon was pretty much dead when it came in, so it was Suicune took down Budgie pretty much on its own. So here's the summary. Jirachi, Mega Blastoise and Sylvie all picking up 1 kill for James. Obviously Suicune with a 3 was the difference in the end. Jolteon going down so early was bad on James' behalf, and 2 kills for Gengar, put in nice work, and 1 for Pulse on the wall. I reckon James would be kicking himself about that loss. I reckon he should have won, but definitely GG, one of the better games of the round. Okay, neck match. We have Lejon and the Hurtiflames up against Greg and the Clefables. So I picked Greg. It was a bit of a 50-50, but I thought he had a bit of a matchup. For the pick'em, everyone else, it was 5-4 to Greg, so another pretty much 50-50 game. My pre-game notes, I had Charizard Y putting in lots of work once Snorlax goes down, which he has a Snorlax there, and Horlocker putting in work, except when the Garchomp switches in, which he doesn't have the Garchomp. And I thought Thundurus T would be very, very important in this matchup. Obviously, to revenge kill Zard, and just has a really nice matchup with the Volt turn as well. So we'll get straight into it. Got to stop putting that music on. Alright, so we go. So this is a pretty long battle. It's about 70 turns. He'll go through it pretty quickly. Gets up his rocks, which is really nice, obviously for the Zard. But he's got the Golbat, which actually walled a lot of Greg's team, and got off really important defaults at times. He reveals Super Fang Golbat as well, which is really nice. Obviously he's trying to get his rocks up, because it's so important in this matchup for Thundurus and Zard. Misses the Willow, which is unfortunate. That was pretty obvious that the Zard was coming in, so he reveals Snorlax as the switch in. It does a return, which does nothing to the Gabaleon. Reveals Swords Dance, Taunt, and if I can speak, Taunt and Swords Dance Gabaleon, which is pretty nice. I don't know why he U-turned there, but he taunts that. The high jump kick can't quite take it out, so it must have been bulky Horlocker, because I thought that would definitely kill. But it doesn't. And obviously Golbat walls a Horlocker except for Stone Edge, but he's not going to risk it this early game. Mew comes in. Zard can switch in pretty nicely to Mew. It does a fair chunk. Heat Wave, I don't know why he was Heat Wave, but I'm sure he has some kind of reason, but Fire Blast would have been a lot nicer. Horlocker gets a kill just about every time it comes in. Tapu Lele is a really, really cool mon. I'm interested to see how Lejon uses it for the rest of the tournament. Super Fang Golbat, I really like that as well. So it reveals Dark Pulse Thundy T, which is again really good building. You can already see that Thundy T is setting up for a late game sweep here, which Greg can't really stop it at all, except for the Snorlax, which is already whittled down. Again, Dark Pulse. Mew isn't really taking that well. It's doing over half. So he goes in the Snorlax. Takes that really well. Doesn't want to risk the Thundy T on the Snorlax. Super Fang. He tries to set up. Switches out. Super Fang again. It's pretty much just continuous. Tapu Lele. Shadow Ball. Wasn't a very good play, but doesn't matter. We all make bad plays. Brave Bird's the Mew. Vaporeon, a really good switch into the Mew. I think he tries to burn it, yep. Taunt, so Mimic Vaporeon, that's really cool from Lejon. Another really good kind of heat play. Tapu Lele, Psychic, which does nothing. Vaporeon again is a Mew switch in, which is really nice. And Thundy T is going to Dark Pulse. No, he's going to Thunderbolt, and he gets a crit, which is really bad for Greg. Obviously, that's doing a huge chunk, and it's not very effective to the Whimsicott as well. So he's going to try. He gets the para, which is really unfortunate for Greg. And obviously, Scizor isn't a very good Thunderous T-switch in. Didn't even try for the Bullet Punch. Snorlax here. Snorlax can't even take a Thunderbolt. Holaka, really nice prediction with the Stone Edge. 2 KO from there. Tapu Lele would obviously be scarfed. Very popular set. Shadow Ball, nice prediction from Lejon. Goes out into the Thunderous, and that is good game with the Charizard Y pretty much finishing it off. Well, no, he Stone Edge. He kills the Zard, but the Tapu Lele is scarfed, and that is GG. And here's a quick summary. Obviously, the 2 mons that I pointed out at the start, Horlucker and Thunderous, each with 3 kills, were the main kind of offensive threats on either team. Cabaleon with the Swords Dance picked up an important kill. Tapu Lele's Scarf finished off the game with Zard as well. And 1 kill to Mew, which is a very handy League Mon, but yeah, just wasn't enough for Greg. So well done to John for the first win for his tournament. Next game, we have my boy Rob, PokeTCG Gamer, onto JakeM and the Virginia Tech Froakies. And obviously Rob is the Dallas Stalmies. Most of you should know Rob. Really good battler. If Techno wasn't going to be my lock this week, it would definitely be Rob. So I picked Rob. It was 8-1 for Rob, pretty one-sided, with the pick'em for the rest of the boys. So my pre-game notes, Jake had really limited switch-ins to Kyron Black, Excadrill and Keldeo, which obviously right plonk in the middle of those 3. And Rob has nice checks to Weavile, Serp, and I can't read my other note. But yeah, just Weavile and Serp, which are 2 pretty dangerous mons. But I just said Rob had to really watch Manaphy, but it didn't come, so alright, let's get straight into it. Leads off with Excadrill onto the Gliscor, which isn't a very good matchup for Rob. So he switches out straight into Ponyboy Keldeo, which we'll see put in a lot of work this game. Obviously he doesn't want to stay in on the Keldeo. Return, doesn't do much, and he can't risk an Iron Head from the Excadrill, so he has to switch out into the Gliscor, which he sets up rocks, which is nice for Rob. Goes for the Earthquake. I would have set up rocks there, but doesn't matter. Goes in the Excadrill because he knows he's not going to keep the Gliscor. Predicting the Mega Altaria, which is again a really good play from Rob, showing his class. Goes into Gliscor. Again predicts it. Goes into the Golisopod, or however you call it. U-turns off on it. Into the Mega Altaria, so that's interesting. Very nice prediction from Rob there with a Poison Jab and poisons it. This neck play, I don't know what he was thinking, to be honest. Lucky it lived, but shows even the really top players can misplay. Yeah, that was probably the last thing I would have switched into a Mega Altaria, to be honest. But it dies to the poison. Obviously, Mega Metagross here. He reveals Thunder Punch, was really nice building, and because of Golisopod's stupid ability, it's out of there. But Excadrill can't quite kill the Metagross, revealing pretty bulky set, and it kills. Again, Ponyboy, Keldeo, revenge kill, which is what Keldeo does best. Serp, obviously, you don't want to keep your Keldeo on Serp. Goes into his Muck, which is obviously Serp, must be specially defensive. Earthquake does nothing, so is Aqua Jet Golisopod, which does massive amount to a Gliscor, which is a defensive monster. U-turns out of there. Gliscor is crippled now. Aqua Jet unfortunately misses, so he gets a bit more chip damage off. Giga Drains that. Nice speed with the Alakazam. Pursuit. Pretty sure Rob misses a Focus Blast here, which is unfortunate. So Alakazam dies. Weavile can't really touch Ponyboy. Sacred Sword dead. Doesn't want to risk on the Galvantula. Thunders. Low on Muck is obviously specially defensive, so takes it really well. So he switches into his Keldeo, which is really risky. Could have cost him, but apparently his Kyurem was scarfed, so it didn't matter anyway. And Ponyboy picks up the kill. And it was a nice 3-0 to Rob. Well done, Rob. You're a genius, mate. And here's your summary from your boy Froakies. And we have Jake with the Weavile meta and Serp all picking up 1 kill. Obviously, Keldeo was probably the main difference in the game with its revenge killing with 3. And Alakazam, Golisopod and Muck all playing their role and picking up 1 kill. So it was a comfortable 3-0 victory to Rob, but it was a very competitive game, so well done to both. And we have our last game for round 1 of the CPC off-season. Hope you've enjoyed the weekly recap so far. I've definitely enjoyed bringing it to you. We have GOKU and the Greninjas versus Tone and the Clawitzers. So I picked Tone. I think, from what I've heard, Tone was the better battler and a nice matchup as well. And the Pick'em crew 6-3 to Tone. So my pre-game notes, I had Mega Houndoom puts in major work. Honestly, there's no switch-ins whatsoever. Maybe Toxapex, but it didn't even come. Heatran walls a lot of Goku's team, except obviously Focus Blast Alakazam, which is something to watch out for. And I thought it would be a stall battle between Milotic and Toxapex, but none of them came at all. So we'll get straight into it. It leads off with Wishy Washy, which I didn't think would be viable in League, but it's actually a nice Houndoom switch-in, which I didn't think of. But Tone has the Arzu, which we found out, I was watching his video today, was Sap Sipper for Tapu Bulu, so it could defensive, so it couldn't really touch it, and obviously switches into Wishy Washy really, really well. Scald, I'm not sure why the Scald, but probably just to get the burn. So here he reveals Calm Mind Alakazam, Mega Alakazam. Very, very lucky that he lived the Focus Blast there. If that went down, it would have been major problems. And he got to crit with the knockoff, which actually did matter, which sucked for Goku. But there goes the Xurkitree. So here, this is the play I don't understand. Like, it's not going to kill the Nidoking. Like, even with Xurkitree's amazing, like, and it's just going to die. Like, why wouldn't you save it for? You need it for the Arzu and other stuff. Like, I don't understand the play. Like, it nearly killed, but it's just dead now, and your Wincon's dead. Like, that's just a bad play in my opinion. Mimikyu. So obviously Heatran's a really nice switch in. Again, Swords Dancing on the Heatran. Pardon me, but yeah, it's not a good play at all. Because it's not going to kill it, and it gets a crit and it doesn't even kill it. Like, that's how bulky Heatran is, and just dies to Flash Cannon. Again, Wishy Washy. He's got Encore. I forgot to Encore Arzu, that really, really nice from Tone. Really nice building. So he goes into Tapu Bulu here, so he gets a free Scald trying to get the burn, which he doesn't, but Tapu Bulu, I can't speak. Tapu Bulu can't touch Arzu with Stone Edge when it's physically defensive, and I'm pretty sure he was rest anyway, so he could rest up on it. Gets a nice Scald burn on the Wishy Washy. Wishy Washy, he's just whittling down the Wishy Washy because it's pretty annoying for the matchup. And I'm pretty sure Houndoom just cleans here, yeah, so it's a 2-hit KO. He subs up just to scout what moves he's using. Fire Blast does massive to Registeel, which is a defensive monster. And the Tapu Bulu, if it isn't Scarf, which it's not, it's going to die to Arzu anyway. But down goes the Tapu Bulu. So Houndoom put in work as I predicted. 4-0 to Tone. Well done, mate. Good job. So to finish off, Goku with his dog shit plays. Just I'm joking. Goku. You didn't play badly at all. Tone just kind of outplayed you. It was still a competitive game. Xurkitree and Wishy Washy picking up 1 each for Goku. 3 for the Mega Houndoom, which was the difference. 1 for Heatran, 1 for Nidoking, and 1 for Licky Licky. So good game, boys. Well done. We have the ladder, folks. So as we can see, Hiker in the Slovakia division on top with iPro second. In the Congo Republic, you have A12 with his big win and Techno in second place. In the China division, we have Lejon and Johnny equal in first place. And in the Cuba division, we have Tone just ahead of Rob in first and second place. And there you have it, folks. That is the weekly recap for week 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm just a normal pokey tuber. I'm no pokey aim. I'm no Iron Flash Gaming. I'm no Gypsy King. But I really enjoyed this analysis kind of stuff. So if you did like what I brought today, please sub to my channel. It would be really beneficial for me. And obviously, if you're a fan of the CPC, definitely sub to this great league, which I've just become a part of. As for the games, there was some really high quality games and some that really didn't live up to the standard, with a lot of players kind of playing poor. But the cream rise to the top, and yeah, I expect week 2 to really heat up and be really competitive. So yeah, definitely leave a like if you like the video, or a comment for stuff that I can improve, as yeah, I don't normally do this stuff. I only muck around on my channel. So yeah, doing something important for the CPC channel is really exciting for me. So yeah, just thanks guys for listening. Hopefully you tune in every week and I can get better each and every week and bring you really good content and analysis. Yeah, peace out guys. Thank you. Look forward to next week.